Because if you're doing it 15, 20 minutes, you don't want to get one of them. Okay, okay, so then let's do every and one ball, then two balls, then two balls. I really wish that.
Yeah, no, yes. Yeah, that's connected. That's connected. Let me know when you can hear this. Yeah, that's all is done. That all is done. Can you? Okay. Yeah, that all is there. But now SCP లో ఇంకా స్ట్రీమ్ కనిపించట్లేదు. సరే యూట్యూబ్ లైవ్కి వెళ్తే నాకు ఒకసారి ఆ లింక్ ఏమైనా ఉందా టు చెక్ మై స్ట్రీమ్ హౌస్. ఓకే పర్ఫెక్ట్. And what is our match? It is TCA versus CapitalX. Antena? Yeah. Okay, I got mine. Okay, sorry, bye bye. Hello, 1 2 3. That's ready whenever you want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know who's scoring?
I did not. Let me. I think someone must be.
Okay.
Do you have the scorecard, or do you want me to get?
I'm following it from here, so I'm trying to follow it on Quick Clubs.
Okay.
But if it's not available on there, then
Yeah.
I'm flying the plane blind.
Are you good with the commercials and everything? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We are live. It's looking okay.
pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Sandy Lake Cricket Ground. We're continuing with the very exciting Dallas Premier League. Our goal sponsor is Innova Solutions. And this is a game of the young versus the experienced. The youth of TCA, Texas Cricket Academy, will be taking on the CapitalX Spartans. And the news from the center is that the youngsters, TCA and Captain Abimanu Paswal, won the toss and they elected to have a bowl. So they're in the field. Bowler is Akhilesh Sudhakar. First game or first ball is chipped to mid wicket. We're on the way from the very beginning, a single off the first ball. This is Brian Walters. Pleased to be bringing you the action here from the Sandy Lake Cricket Ground. Very pleasant conditions if you're in the sun, or if you're in the shade. If you're in the sun, maybe just a little bit warm. But of course, we are probably an hour or so away from sunset. So really good, pleasant conditions for some day-night cricket. Scheduled for 20 overs. And this, again, is a matchup of the very young team. Generally, all of the players are 19 or under. And they're going up against a CapitalX Spartans team that's loaded with heavy hitters, people who've played a very high level of cricket. Of course, they will not take it easy on the youngsters, nor should they. This first or next ball is just played into the offside. Well fielded. Good line being bowled here by Akhilesh Sudhakar. Tall right arm fast bowler bowling over the wicket. Looking to get that ball to slightly shape away, wanting to find that off-stump line and hopefully get it moving away from the right-handed batter. Here he is again, a little too straight, and this is punched beautifully through the covers. I think we have our first boundary of the day. Very well stroked, not overhit, didn't try to overhit it, just timed it very well, kept it on the ground, and once it pierced the gap, again, we're inside the first 6 overs. The first 6 overs are considered the power play overs. During those first 6 overs, you cannot have more than 2 fielders outside the circle. Nobody in the circle deep on the offside. And so that was an easy boundary. Starting off again. Looking for a better delivery, and this is a Yorker length. Very well bowled, getting it right up in the block hole. Defended by the batter. Our apologies, by the way. We, as of right now, do not have a working scoreboard. We're working on that to get you that information as quickly as we can. In the meantime, we're just looking to see what changes are being made into the field. And I mentioned that there was no one who was in the deep on the offside. Well, now there's now a deep extra covering position, which means a fielder who was at third man has to now be inside the circle. That's well played. Good ball, defended into the offside, and almost a quick shot at the stumps. But at the end of all of that, there's no run. So that's another 2 balls remaining here. Good over generally so far by Akhilesh Sudhakar. I think he's bowling generally where he wants in terms of the length. The line may be a little too straight on occasion. He's going to want to make sure that he finds that off-stump line and keeps it out there. Next delivery, yep, this is going to be too full and clipped away easily for 4. A full toss on leg stump. So that ball essentially was asking to be hit. And the batter only too happy to oblige. So, in fact, that was the last ball of the over. A 4 to end things. At the end of the first over, our unofficial total is 9 without loss. Once again, we're pending getting the proper information via the scorecard, and that will be up as soon as possible. And you should be able to see that on your screens as soon as it becomes available. But for right now, unofficially, we are 9 without loss. And so the bowling now will be coming from the northern end of the field. That is the forest end, let's call it. New bowler. And it appears that just from our end, the scorecard is just almost ready. And you should hopefully see that on your screens very soon. In the meantime, we'll just continue describing the action the way that we see it. And hopefully the particular information will become available as soon as we have it. In the meantime, 1 over gone, scheduled for 20. Looking at the outfield and looking where everybody is. We'll describe the field in just a second. This is lofted in the air. Possible catching opportunity. And he takes it. Absolutely well-judged catch. Just thick outside edge. And that fielder sweeping in the deep on the offside. Came running in, judged to perfection. And takes a really, really nice catch. It's not easy to take those catches. Looking again at the replay. The ball maybe the batter looking too much toward the offside, or the leg side rather, opened up himself and looking to play maybe too long on. Got that thick outside edge and the ball peeled off of the outside edge and flew all the way down to deep cover. The fielder running in from the boundary takes it easily, maybe about knee height, but he never looked like he was going to drop it. A really good piece of fielding, and the youngsters have their first wicket. The score is 9-1. So that would have been a disappointing start by the CapitalX Spartans. I mentioned that they're very experienced, most of them, and you probably have maybe 5 or 6 times as much cricket experience on the Spartans side of the field than on TCA's side. But TCA will not worry about that. Their number one priority is just to give a good account for themselves. And they've done just that. The very first delivery of the second over, being bowled. We'll get the particulars of that fielder or the bowler in a second, but just absolutely well played, or well bowled rather. And the shot, not the best of shots by that batter, only skying it off a thick outside edge. And once again, going all the way down to deep cover and easily taken. So the first wicket goes down. The new batter is in. Our unofficial score is 9-1. And the bowler is continuing from the northern end of the field, the forest end. Here he is again. Well bowled and defended to mid-on. That is a really, really good ball. Just on just short of driving length and pitching on middle stump. And just defended in front of the stumps for no run. So that's a good start to the over. And in fact, this bowler is Sahil Lada. Sahil Lada, right arm over the wicket. Here he is again. This one is a little too straight and punched straight down the ground. That's going to run away for 4. That is a really good stroke. That was played by Sagar Patel. Sagar Patel getting that ball exactly where he wanted it. Half volley on leg stump and just punching it right down the ground. Absolutely straight bat. No risk in the shot whatsoever. Good high front arm, and that ball races away for the second 4. Actually, the third 4 of the match. All 3 4s hit by Sagar Patel. In fact, all of his scoring strokes have been 4s. He is up to 12 from 7. And Sahil Lada, just not quite ready, Sagar Patel, pulling away there, and the umpire signals a dead ball. 3 deliveries into his spell here, young Sahil Lada, and immediately finding success, but he needs to close out strongly here. Short. That's going to be too short, and it's punched away through the offside for 4 more. So the youngster is going to have to learn, when you're bowling to a good batter, you have to maintain your disciplines. You have to keep that ball on a good length, just outside of off stump maybe, or on off stump line. think he went for the effort ball, and looking at the replay, tried to bounce Sagar Patel, and that's generally not going to be a good idea. He will score heavily off of those types of deliveries. So Sagar Patel now again dealing in boundaries only. He's up to 16 from 8 balls faced. So he's striking it at a strike rate of 200. Now a deep mid wicket now in place. And Sahil Lada again to Sagar Patel. Very full down the leg side. I don't mind a fuller delivery, but the line has to be on off stump. So the youngster, I think, having a little bit of a baptism by fire here. He's done well to take a wicket, but he's going to have to be able to close this over out properly. Still 3 balls to come and 9 runs already from the over. 2 fours and then that 1 wide down the leg side. This is a much better delivery. Appeal for catch, belated appeal. I don't think there was any real chance of that being given out, but that's a better delivery. I like that length that he bowled. Maybe slightly too straight on the line, but a big swipe and a miss by Sagar Patel. Not able to make contact. So just once again, you want to see the youngster establish that consistency right on off stump or just thereabouts. There's a slip fielder in position and 5 fielders on the offside. That's where you should be bowling. Very straight and lofted in the air, mid-on, running back, and he takes a spectacular catch. That is a great, great catch. And the second wicket falls. The fielder has both his arms aloft. That is a big wicket, and tell you what, the youngsters are landing some body blows here at the Sandy Lake Cricket Ground. Sagar Patel, after 16 runs scored, 9 balls faced, all 16 of his runs coming in boundaries. But he plays 1 shot too many and only ends up lofting one to deep long on. And that fielder running back from mid-on. Not ever easy running back and looking over your shoulders to take that catch, but he judged it very well. Took a very, very good catch, and the second wicket goes down. So great success so far by young Sahil Lada. A little expensive, 9 runs, but he will absolutely take those 2 wickets. So the second wicket goes down, and overall now the score is 18 for 2. Back here at the Sandy Lake Cricket Ground. 2 strikes at the top of the order by the youngsters. And they are absolutely looking to hopefully squeeze things down just a little bit, because we're wanting to make sure that the youngsters take their time and make a good account for themselves. And that's exactly what they've started out doing here. Bowler bowling again from the southern end is Akhilesh Sudhakar. Very full and just defended into the offside for no run. Good start to the over by Akhilesh Sudhakar. His figures so far: gave up 9 runs in his first over. So far has started out with 2 dot balls here in the second, or his second, the 3rd overall. Tall right arm fast bowler, and he's operating now to Ujwal pulled in the air and wide off mid-on. That may not have the legs to get to the boundary. And in fact, the fielder sweeping out at mid-wicket, able to pick up and return to the non-striker's end. So 2 runs as Ujwal gets off the mark. And just wanting to get that ball a little bit more towards off stump. I keep saying it, and it's a good learning opportunity for the youngsters. Anything too straight is where the scoring opportunities come from. That's the line that they need to bowl. And this is punched into the offside. Just a single to mid-off. Just on that opportunity for a run. You see the umpire running to the side to be able to make that call to be adjacent square of the wicket. It's umpire Pulkit Dabral. The other umpire is Subbu Chakrapani. Both umpires were in operation here at the first opening of the tournament last night, and they're here again in operation tonight. 2 very competent and it appears respected umpires. So those are good things to look out for. Here's Sudhakar again. Good delivery again on the right line and just defended really quick outfield. The ball racing across to that sweeper. Oh, they steal an extra run. Oh, that should not have been an extra run. A little bit of a fumble. The throw came in from the outfield and not picked up cleanly, and that provided the room for them to get those additional couple runs. So they'll not be happy with those additional runs being given away. But, you know, at the end of the day, again, all of this, I think, is a good development or learning opportunity for these youngsters. And one of the things that they'll have to be aware of is that just because the throw comes in from the outfield doesn't mean that it's dead. You have to be able to secure that ball and not provide additional scoring opportunities to the opposition. So 1 more ball to go here in the 3rd. Sudhakar. Good delivery, lofted in the air, just past that man in the covers, and a good diving stop by the sweeper down at extra cover. That is good work in the outfield. They get 2 more, but that is great work overall. And at the end of the 4th over, the score is 3rd over rather. The score is 25 for 2. Back here at Sandy Lake, Sahil Lada operating again. 2 wickets in his first over, so very successful over, and that's a great start. Good line just on off stump, and a good piece of work in the outfield. The youngsters look really like they are ready to play, and that's always really good to see. And sharp in the outfield, good quick pickups, strong throws, and good enthusiasm. That's, of course, what will happen when you take wickets. Wickets will always add that piece of enthusiasm in the field. This next delivery, 2 straight, that's going to be clipped away for 4. Just going down the leg side, cannot bowl that line. And easily taken advantage of here by Kiran Kumar. Check that by Ujwal. Just clipping it away behind square, and anything down that line is going to spell trouble. Of course, in any cricket match, you cannot have more than 2 fielders behind square on the leg side. So at the most, there would be 2 fielders back there. As it is, it's just 1, and that fielder was inside the circle at fine leg. So once it beats that fielder, always going to be 4. This next delivery, that's a better line. That is absolutely the line that he needs to bowl. And once again, just finding that consistency is something that young Sahil is going to want to work on, because when he gets it right, he's extremely difficult to score off of. And once again, he'll need to understand that those types of deliveries, the balls that are on off stump, and if there's any amount of movement, it might be leaving the right-handed batter with that swing. Those are the types of balls generally that will take wickets. Good ball again, right on that line, right on off stump. So good comeback. 3 out of the 4 balls bowled so far have been on the right line and the right length. Just got that 1-2 straight. And after we've gotten to that stage, you'd like to think that he'd be able to continue along that same vein. That's what experience is going to teach him as he grows into his career. Next ball, once again, very, very good delivery. Just giving up a single, but that's okay. There's people inside, your teammates are inside the circle, packing the offside, so that's where you should be bowling. That line, outside off stump, and that's exactly what he did on that occasion. Good work so far by Sahil. He's going to have to close out strong. Every single ball is going to be important. And again, just something that the youngsters need to be able to understand. We're into the 4th. One more ball coming in for the 4th, or for the end of the 4th over. 30 runs are on the board. Scoring the CapitalX Spartans at the rate of 7.83 and over. Very well bowled, punched down the ground, but that's okay. He will concede just 2 runs. Check that, just 6 runs from this over. Very, very well bowled. That is the end of the 4th. 6 runs coming from that over. At the end of 4, the score is 31 for 2. $31 for 2. CapitalX Spartans, after having been asked to go into bat, have lost 2 wickets to the youngsters from TCA. And now the first bowling change of the day sees Rohan Dhawan taking up the attack from the south end. Slapped through the covers for 4. That's going to be 2 full. In fact, oh, well, that's a great piece of fielding. That is an excellent piece of fielding in the deep, actually preventing 2 runs from being scored. Honestly, it was a rank full toss by Rohan Dhawan. The fielder in the cover is not able to get to it. For a split second, I thought that would have gone for 4, but a great piece of fielding in the deep limits the damage to just 2. Really, really good effort in the deep by that fielder. And again, while it was not the best of deliveries, it was the case that he bowled to his field. And that fielder, only 2 fielders outside the circle, but that went to one of them. Thick outside edge this time, and that's going to run away for 4. Okay, so 2 deliveries, 6 runs conceded by Rohan Dhawan. First one, a rank full toss. This next one, maybe slightly better in length, but the line was a little bit too far outside off stump, and it was slashed away over the top of the infield for 4. So that is Kiran Kumar Reddy, who is looking to hopefully in his mind, stamp his authority on the game. Is playing against several youngsters, and he's going to want to teach them the proper way to play cricket. And this is a thick outside edge. Nothing at all wrong with delivery. A thick outside edge, and it runs away for 4. Let's just call it a moral victory for Rohan Dhawan. Outside off and slashing away at that one. You know, they say cricket is a game that rewards aggression, and that was an aggressive stroke. I think he was looking more to play that through the covers, but that outside edge took it through third man, running away for 4. So all of a sudden, runs are coming in bunches. Sagar Patel, or check that, Kiran Kumar Reddy up to 15 from 6. 2 balls to go here in the 5th. Full toss, slapped away for 4. Now, this itself was not a very good delivery. Very full and no worries whatsoever. Able to get that away very easily, Kiran Kumar Reddy. And all of a sudden, this is turning into a really expensive over. Already 14 runs coming from it. Still another 2 balls to come. And again, we're still inside the power play, so you're really limited as a bowler with regard to where your options are. You have to bowl that right line and that right length, otherwise you'll go for runs. Slapped into the covers. This time it's a much better ball, well fielded by that fielder inside the circle at extra cover. So 1 ball remaining here in the 5th. Rohan Dhawan just again looking to limit the damage. 14 already from the over. And this is stroked into the covers and again well fielded. So 14 from the first 4, but 2 dot balls to close things out in the 5th. 14 from the over total. At the end of 5, the score is 45 for 2. 5 overs done and dusted. So this is the last over of the power play. Once again, a power play is the first 6 overs of a cricket match, of a T20 cricket match. So this is the last over where you can only have 2 fielders allowed outside the circle. You see a false run up here by the bowler. We were looking at that area yesterday before we start, or during the middle of the game. And there is a very pronounced ridge from the ground up to the pitch. And that can cause havoc for a fast bowler with his footing. Going down the leg side, that might be 5 wides, unfortunately. Running away. In fact, don't see what the umpire signaled. I think he may have just signaled 4 runs. So that might have been runs. We'll confirm on the replay as soon as we have availability. It's at minimum 4 runs, but possibly 5, depending on what the umpire signals. And we'll see here it is actually runs. So given as runs, either way, 2 straight by Ashish Das is the bowler. Getting that first delivery a little bit too straight and clipped away behind square for 4. Short and absolutely plundered. That is not the length to bowl. And you will learn very quickly that if you bowl that length, unless you're getting that ball at pace up around the batter's face, that is just meat and drinks. Those are easy runs to score. And again, we're still inside the power play. The fielders outside the circle are at deep cover and at long on. So a lot of room otherwise. Absolutely can't bowl there. Thick outside edge, catching opportunity and gone. A lovely catch, running backwards, almost like an NFL defensive back, and skying, just judging that really well to perfection. Those thick outside edges are spinning, so those are never easy to take. But he judges it to perfection, cups it, and all of a sudden a third wicket goes down. Young Ashish Das has his first wicket after being giving up 2 fours with his first 2 balls. He finds success with his third. So the third wicket goes down. 3 wickets lost inside the power play. I'm sure the CapitalX Spartans did not have this in mind when they were coming in to bat. But as of right now, the score is 53 for 3. New batter in is Rishi Ramesh. Appeal for the first ball for caught behind. Not out, says the umpire. 53 for 3. Rishi Ramesh is going to be around the same age as the bowlers he's facing. He's a youngster, but a very accomplished player in his own right. Big swipe and a miss outside off stump. And that is going to be the first wide of the day. Rishi Ramesh played for the Dallas Mustangs in the minor cricket league, the season that just finished about 3 or so weeks ago now. And in fact, the Dallas Mustangs were the best team in the Central Division. Unfortunately for them, we're not able to go on. This is clipped away behind square. Full toss, easy runs, and 4. Rishi Ramesh is not going to need an invitation to play that shot. Just helped himself to 4 runs. Very full, going down the leg side, no less. And so, very easy to put those types of deliveries away. So 12 runs already from the over 4. Ashish Das has given up 12, 3 boundaries, but he has taken a wicket. And now looking at the field placings, this is the last ball of the power play. So after this delivery, they will have the opportunity to put more fielders outside, but nobody's outside in the deep on this one. And it is driven away really nicely. Good flowing off drive by Rishi Ramesh. Gets that one to the boundary. That concludes the over. It concludes the power play. At the end of 6, the score is 61 for 3. Power play is over with. 62 for 3 is the score after 6. So generally the Spartans are scoring at a great rate, but they've lost 3 wickets. They'll not be happy with that. This one is driven into the outfield. They'll get 1 run. There's a new bowler on. In fact, we'll get the name of the bowler as soon as we can. But in fact, the bowler is the captain himself, Abhimanyu Paswal. And he's now operating to Kiran Kumar. Leg spinner, short and pulled to mid wicket. Just be single. Of course, again, now that we're out of the power play, then there's much more protection for these bowlers, so they can hopefully in their minds feel a little bit more freedom to pitch that ball up, maybe give it a little bit of flight. Try a few more things because you have more protection in the deep. Tossed up and defended just behind square for a quick single. So Abhimanyu Paswal, accomplished player, as you'd expect as the captain. Played a decent amount of cricket even at his young age. And I think in his mind he'll be concerned with the rate at which the CapitalX Spartans are scoring. Good deliveries so far. 4 deliveries and generally bowling to his field. Only conceded 3 runs so far from his 4 deliveries. Captain doing a good job to just calm things down. And now looking to close out strong. Pushes this one a little bit through a little quicker. And it's swept away behind square. Coming back for the second. Good strong throw, but can't prevent that second. So just 1 more ball remaining here in the 7th. Last delivery. Oh, that's well bowled and defended in front of the stumps for no run. So that is the end of the 7th. At the end of 7, the score is 67 for 3. Six to 7 for 3. A good start. Probably both teams will feel relatively comfortable with where they are. The youngsters will be very enthusiastic about having taken those 3 wickets. In the meantime, the scoring rate for the CapitalX Spartans is almost 10. They're scoring at 9.57 and over. And so from that standpoint, they'll be satisfied. So the new bowler coming from the north end is Rochan. Rochan trying to get that footing right. Again, I mentioned at that end of the field, there's a very pronounced ridge from the ground up to the pitch. And you have to, as a bowler, particularly a fast bowler, be careful for that because it completely makes it difficult for you to run through the crease in the way that you ordinarily would. So I can certainly understand the youngsters having trouble with that. Good delivery, just defended into the offside. Long off, coming around, fumbles it, and that gives the opportunity for two. A wayward throw, and that ends up being 3 runs. So that's not good cricket by the youngsters. The throw came in from the outfield. A very strong throw, has to be said, but very much offline, nowhere near either end, and just sort of going into no man's land and providing the opportunity to get 3 runs. So little stuff to clean up is what the youngsters are going to want to be working on. And the captain, Abhiman and Pauswal, is going to have that conversation. The next opportunity they have to get a break. Next delivery, that's well bowled. Sort of a half-hearted appeal. Kiran Kumar is the batter on strike. He's 22 from 13. Rishi Ramesh has only been there for 6 deliveries, but he already has 13 runs. And a little bit of an interruption, as I think the umpire at square leg now just has a little bit of work to do, cleaning things up, rearranging the furniture, as we say, repairing the stumps. 70 for 3. Kiran Kumar, 22 from 14. Rishi Ramesh, 13 from 6. And once again, those two are at the wicket because the captain of the TCA team, Abhimanyu Paswal, won the toss and elected to have his team bowl. Very bold call by the captain. 3 wickets, he'll be happy with that. He'll want to bring the run rate down now. So here we go again. This is whipped away. Lovely looking shot, but there is protection down there at deep backward square leg, so it keeps them to 1 run. Oh, another wayward throw. These are free runs that are being conceded by TCA. And again, they come back for a 3rd. So, truly, the opportunity is there for the youngsters to clean up some of these mistakes, because that really should not have been 3 runs under no circumstances. 1 run is what should have been conceded, but unfortunately, again, for them, they end up conceding 3 more runs. So Rochan continuing. Very straight. Oh, that's well fielded. In fact, I thought he fielded it. Did not field it. And the throw comes back in as that ball got by the bowler and goes down to the boundary for a single. They may have run 2 on that, actually. So let's give him credit for 2, unless we hear otherwise from the scorer. The overall scoring rate is now at 9.78, assuming that that was 2 runs that just scored just now. We'll confirm that as soon as we can. In fact, it was just a single. So with that having been a single, the score now 74 for 3 means that the overall run rate is 9.65. 9.65 runs and over is a very healthy rate that puts you close to 200. The 3 wickets having fallen will mean that the batters at the crease now may not take any chances, but the closer they get to the end of the innings, then the more you expect for them to go for runs. And this is whipped away over backward square, and that goes all the way for 6. A full toss, bowled by Rochan. Rochan Vanam getting that one 2 straight and 2 full, going down the leg side, and meat and drinks for Kiran Kumar. He now moves to 31 from 16. Any bowler would like to, or any batter rather, would like to see those types of deliveries, because you can always score off of those, full and down the leg side, and just easily helping himself to 6 runs was Kiran Kumar. So a little bit of a ragged closeout to the over here. This is punched down to long off. Good clean pickup. And eventually the ball is settled down. And that is the end of the over. So at the end of 8, the score now moves to 81 for 3. $81 for 3. Captain Abimanu Postwall bowling again, lofted down into the deep and taken. A great catch down here at long off. Judging his position on the field very well. Takes it probably a foot, maybe a foot and a half inside the fence at long off. Very well judged catch, and the fourth wicket goes down. Tossed up and hit down the ground. And very well judged down here by the fielder at long on. So the fourth wicket goes down. A really good piece of cricket. You can tell that the fundamentals are being taught well for these youngsters. So 4 down, the score is 81 for 4. $81 for 4. What a moment this is for the young TCA players, because striding to the crease is the talismanic player from Houston, the captain of the Houston Hurricanes in the minor league cricket system, or minor cricket league system, Usman Rafiq. Usman Rafiq, a tremendous all-rounder, one of the best all-rounders in the country. Facing up now to Abimanu Postwall. Usman Rafiq, a great off-spinner. Bowls traditional off-spin, and in the last couple of seasons has added the Dusra that spins away like a leg spinner. And then the role that he plays for his side for the Hurricanes is as a finisher. So he can hit big with the best of them. Can play proper cricket. As you can see, the first 2 deliveries are defended. But if he needs to hit big, he is more than capable of doing that. Played professionally for a while in Pakistan, then moved to the U.S. Makes his home here now. Lives in Houston with his young daughters. Oh, outside off stump. That's a good delivery by Abimanu Postwall. It's actually captain to captain here, as these 2 gentlemen are on the pitch about an hour and a half or so ago for the toss. And they now match up again. Captain bowler to captain batter. Now Captain Usman Rafiq off the mark, just working this one down to mid-wicket. A great over in progress here by the captain, Abimanu Postwall, just needing to close this out strongly. Just one more ball to go. And he's now facing up to Rishi Ramesh. Good delivery. Tempted stumping, but Ramesh was well and truly inside his crease. So what a great over by the captain. Just 1 run conceded and the big wicket taken. So at the end of 9, the score is 83 for 4. 83 for 4. The captain, Abhimanyu Paswal, with a very good over. 1 run and 1 wicket. And the bowling now will be taken up. Left arm spinner. This is Anshul Reddy. First delivery is sort of deflected and they run through for a single. So 1 ball bowled by Anshul Reddy. Tall left arm spinner bowling orthodox from around the wicket. The first ball bowled to Usman Rafiq. This next one is now Rishi Ramesh. Ramesh 14 from 8. Usman Rafiq up to 2 from 5. A little extra bounce in that ball, and it gets through the fielder at backward point. They should get 2 easily. Just jogging through for the second. Really should have been 1. Really should have been none, but they end up conceding 2 anyway. So the little things that matter are where this game can sometimes get away from you. So if you're not able to pick balls cleanly up in the outfield or in the infield, you'll end up costing your side runs, and the youngsters are going to have to learn that. Good delivery outside off, and just letting this one go through is Rishi Ramesh. This one is straighter, and it's punched down the ground to long off. Rishi Ramesh looking comfortable, not looking rushed in any way, and he will be his game will be benefited by batting alongside, again, I think a person who's easily to be considered one of the best all-rounders in the country, Usman Rafiq. He's now on strike, and just dropping this one behind square. They'll get 1, and that's all that they'll get. Sun going down behind us now, and so surprisingly, it's actually feeling a little chilly. And it has been months since anyone in Texas, anywhere in Texas, has uttered that phrase, but it does feel a little cool. 1 ball remaining here in the 10th. And just reaching forward to smother the spin that time is Rishi Ramesh. So that's the end of 10. At the end of 10, we're halfway through the innings. The score is 88 for 4. $87 for 4. My apologies. I think I'd said 88 for 4 at the end of the last over. 87 is the actual score. So we're now into the 11th, and the captain versus captain matchup continues. First ball pulled away into the deep for a single. Abhimanyu Paswal, 2 overs, 1 for 6. So good bowling by the captain. Good tossed up delivery, and it finds the outside edge, running away down the hill. That's going to go close to the boundary. Diving attempt down here by the fielder. Did he get to stop that? It's either 3 or 4. The applause around the ground tells me that he did pull that back just in time. So just 3 runs instead of 4. You might argue, how much of a difference does 1 run make? Well, 1 run can make a big actual difference, but it certainly makes a psychological difference. As a bowler, you don't want to concede any boundaries, and you like seeing your team supporting you. So that's good work by that fielder running back from third man. Next delivery just defended in front of the stumps for no run. Thank you. Usman Rafiq just taking his time to get into his craft. 4 from 7. Tossed up, and just work down to long on for a single. Paswal working very quickly. Fielders are as many fielders in the deep as they are allowed. There's 2 on the offside, or 3 on the offside inside the ring, and 1 on the leg side. Everyone else is outside in the deep. Tossed up and slashed. There's a fielder deep in the covers. Good stop. And they'll get 1 run. That throw coming back in to the keeper's end. So 6 runs have been scored already from this, the 11th over. Bit of a change now as short third man coming in from in the deep. So slightly more aggressive field. And Usman Rafiq just defending this one back to the bowler for no run. So a good, successful over. Successful in the sense that not many runs are scored from it. The overall run rate is 8.45, but they get this over by Captain Abhimanyu Paswal, only goes for 6. It's always a good thing to keep the runs that you concede less than the overall scoring rate. So at the end of 11, 93 for 4. Stay up. Yeah. 94 for 4. We're into the 12th over. Anshul Reddy continuing. Left arm around the wicket. Pulling to Captain Usman Rafiq. Appeal for catch and he's gone. Oh my, look at that. Usman Rafiq is sent back. The left arm spinner has done the business from around the wicket. A little bit more bounce than Usman Rafiq was looking for. Attempted cut shot and catching the outside edge. What a big wicket this is. You see the disappointment on Usman Rafiq's face, and it never fails. The commentator's curse strikes again. Every single time I say something good about a player, he ends up having something happen that he did not want to happen. But that's the 5th wicket that is down now. So 94 for 5. Half of the side is back in the hut. And this is really good work by the youngsters from TCA. 94 for 5. We'll be right back.
Do you have the link to run the ad? Yeah. Can you... Yeah, go and run an ad now. What you doing? Okay, there's
Very accomplished left-handed batter, has played cricket for a really long time. Played for the U.S. national team for a number of years. These days, just makes his living right here in the Dallas area. Very experienced. Not to mention, just a really good guy. And overall, I think the amount of experience that is in Jignesh Desai's past alone might be more than the experience of all the TCA guys put together. Down the leg side, looking to pull this away, but just a wide signal. Boy, the youngsters, after they were asked or they chose to go be in the field, I think they'd be very happy with where they are. And yet another wide. There are some things that they can do better. I think in the field, they have the opportunity to clean some things up. But overall, my goodness, they have taken 5 big wickets and are doing very well overall. 5 wickets down for less than 100 runs. That's a good place to be if you're those youngsters. Now Jignesh Desai getting off the mark, working this one down behind the, or just in front of square on the leg side. Single. Jignesh Desai off the mark, and at the other end is Rishi Ramesh. He's 22 from 15. The overall score now 97 for 5, with just 1 ball remaining here in the, 2 balls remaining here in the 12th. Good bowling by this youngster. Outside off. Half-hearted cut shot by Rishi Ramesh, not making contact. And just 1 ball left now. 97 for 5. Unbelievable stuff here by the TCA guys. Single to close things out here in the 12th. I think I'll have a drink of water. We'll be right back. .98 for 5. Captain Abhimani Paswal with his last over. Look out. Good strong throw. These guys in the outfield throw very well. I think the only thing is that they're not always very consistent with throwing accurately. The strong arms are very, very good, but you have to be able to get that ball in from the outfield and have it secured. So that actually concedes another double, which brings up the 100. So the 100 is up for the first time. This next delivery. Oh, trying a scoop shot. Look at that. And they'll concede more runs here as that fielder running in from short third man, not able to secure it. So 2 more runs. Rishi Ramesh looking to be a little bit adventurous. He's now up to 27 from 19. Jignesh Desai looking to just help solidify things. I think they've lost way more wickets than they were planning on. And this is stroked into short extra cover. And that's good work by that fielder inside the circle to prevent any runs from being scored. Rishi Ramesh looking to cut loose. He looks almost like he's getting impatient, wants to get things on. And this is well and truly outside the line of off stump and now given wide. So umpire taking a little bit of time, but I think correctly giving that one as a wide. Not very many wides so far, which again is testament to how well these youngsters are bowling. In the air, catchable, and what a great attempt, but not able to get to it. Was long off. Went sliding. I thought he did well enough to get there, but it apparently just landed short of him. Good sliding attempt, but they get 2 more runs. I started making the point that the youngsters have bowled very well. Only 4 extras conceded so far in this innings. So 3.81% of your runs have been scored with extras. That generally is a good indication of bowling expertise. Another dot ball. So just 1 ball remaining in the spell. And in fact, I said earlier it was a captain. It was not. It's Rohan who's bowling. Using the feet is Rishi Ramesh coming down and slapping this to mid-wicket. And that is the end of the over. So that's actually the second over bowled by Rohan Dhawan. At the end of his second, the 13th overall, the score is 106 for 5. Brian Walters again with you, and thankfully I have not drawn the short straw to be able to talk by myself for 3 straight hours, because a young man who knows absolutely nothing about cricket has decided to jump on with me. Isa, good afternoon. How are you? So, Issa, one thing that I've always tried to do is to make sure that people who don't know the sport of cricket, as this is slapped through the covers for a double, I think they'll get there. Yes, a good throw comes back into the keeper's end, and they get 2. So, as I was saying, Issa, I like to know what the sport of cricket looks like to somebody who does not know it. And so, talking to you, to get that sense. And then maybe if you have any questions that you have that I can help clarify, then maybe other people who are watching who also don't know the sport might have the same questions. And then we might be able to get some conversations going that way. Is that all right?
They are the goalies, to my understanding. Is that correct?
Not exactly. And you are a soccer guy. You mentioned that earlier. I'll get back to that question in just a minute. Tossed up and lofted down the ground. I don't think this is going to fall close to a fielder. Fielder running in from long on. Only able to get to 1 run. So I think that would have been a false stroke. Had he hit that in a cleaner, he may well have lost his wicket, because that fielder coming in from the boundary very well could have gotten to him or gotten to the ball. But as it is, just a single. So Issa, the 2 batters in the middle, there's 2 people who bat at one time. The best way to explain it to you is think of it like baseball with no foul territory and 2 bases. That's the best way to understand it. So you can hit the ball any direction. In baseball, you have a strike zone. In cricket, which is what the bowlers are aiming at. Pulled massively. That's going to run away for 4. That's the experience of Jignesh Desai. Pulling it away really firmly struck ball, and it goes in. For the first time today, we have a ball that goes into the forest. It's a great strike by Jignesh Desai that goes through mid wicket for 4. So 113 is where the score is now. So in baseball terms, that would have gone to right center field. In cricket, if it goes over the home run, scores 6 runs automatically. If it on the ground automatically. And this is now played into the outfield. Good sliding stop by the fielder running across from cover. So a few runs now being scored by Jignesh Desai. He's up to 6 from 4 balls faced. And the most confusing thing about what you see, I want you to answer that question for me, is this is defended into the covers and another quick single taken. Good work, good pickup by the fielder running in from the covers. Score ticking along slowly. They've decelerated a lot. The overall run rate now down to 8.2. Overall score 114 with the score is 115 for 5. $115 for 5. This is again going to be Rohan Dhawan. Bowling appears to be off spin. Oh, fumble in the outfield again, or really on the infield. So another single conceded. You're again going to want to clean up these little mishaps. But for the most part, while you've done well to take 5 wickets, you still want to clean up the little errors that have been plaguing you so far if you're TCA. Nevertheless, 115 for 5 is not a bad score. After you chose to bowl on a ground where last night 182 runs were scored by the team batting first and the team batting second chased it in about 14 overs, there's no question that this is a good bowling effort. But again, just the opportunity to clean up these extras is something that needs to be done. Oh, another fumble in the outfield and another single conceded. So Issa, the question I asked, of everything that you see going on in front of you, what appears to be the thing that would least or would most need to be explained? Exactly. So there are 11 fielders in the field. The 11 fielders in the field are one team. The 2 who are in the middle who are batting are the other team. So the 2 in the middle bat, and you bat in pairs. Everybody else who is on the side, who is in the middle, is on the outside. They've already batted or they're waiting to come in and bat. So in baseball, you come up, you hit a home run, everybody cheers, and you go and sit down and somebody else comes in to bat. In cricket, you bat until you're out. So this pair has been batting for a while. They've been batting now for about 12 balls. And that's why it appears that everybody else is on the same team, because the 2 in the middle are the 2 who are batting. And everybody else is who's trying to prevent the 2 who are batting from scoring. So the overall score now, 19 for 5, 119 runs scored, and 5 people are out. This is lofted in the air. That's going to be 6, I believe. Yep, goes all the way for 6. In fact, just misses a few fans that are outside the ropes at long off. That is a great strike by Rishi Ramesh. Going all the way for 6. That is well hit. That is the last ball of the over that disappears. The score is now 125 for 5. We'll be right back. So 125 for 5. A flourish ending the last over. Rishi Ramesh going big over the top of long off for 6. Now back to the live action. Jignesh Desai up to the challenge, and this is struck down the ground. A good sliding attempt, but then the fielder down at long off kicks it over the boundary. So it goes for 4. So he did well to get to it, but after having gotten to it, he'll be disappointed that he did not secure that one. So the runs are coming at a slightly quicker rate now. Rohan Dhawan is who is bowling. In fact, that may not be accurate. I'll get the name of the bowler shortly. But either way, another single taken. Jignesh Desai now up to 13. Rishi Ramesh, who's been there for 32 balls, 31 balls, make that. He's up to 42 not out. We're into the 16th over. So just another 4 overs and 3 balls remaining in this innings. This is work down to mid-wicket. They're looking to come back for 2. A little yes, no, and then the throw finally comes in to the keeper's end, but they do get 2 more runs. And so this is going to be a good test for the youngsters to see if they can hold their nerve in situations where the batters are looking to score quickly and looking to run as much as possible to try to put pressure on them. They've not done as good a job as they would have wanted to so far, but here's the opportunity for them to change that as this next ball is punched into the outfield for another single. So Issa, each team, in this form of cricket, each team bats for 120 balls. An over bowled by one bowler. So 20 overs is how long the match lasts for, the innings last for. And so each team tries to score as much as they can in 20 overs or in 120 balls. Then at the end of that 120 balls, whatever score they have, to chase that target in the same 20 overs or 120 balls themselves. So as of right now, the score is 133. Make that 134 for 5. That is the end of the 16th over. So at the end of 16, the score 134 for 5. Another 4 overs remaining, or another 24 balls remaining, which means that as much as possible, they're going to try to add to that 134. And to the extent that they can make maybe somewhere around 165, 170, they'll be happy. Anything less than that, I think, will be a challenge. Other questions? Okay, I'll wait till you have a question. So at 134 for 5, it may be the captain who's bringing himself back on. Let's see. Nope. It is And hit. We'll get the name of the bowler as soon as we have it. It may be the captain, Abhimanyu Paswal. I think that's who that is. And either way, he'll be bowling now to Jignesh Desai. Jignesh forcing it off the back foot, but that's well stopped in the covers. Yep, that is the captain bringing himself back on for his last over. So, 3 overs so far. He's conceded only 12 runs and taken 1 wicket. So good bowling by the captain. And that's a good piece of running by this pair. Good understanding between the two. The ball didn't go very far. Jignesh Desai just opening the face and running it just behind point. But Rishi Ramesh immediately calling and running through for that single. That's good work by those two. Now just looking to see where everyone is. There's a fielder down at long on. There is a fielder, as you'd expect, at long off. Deep mid wicket, deep square leg, and the sweeper on the offside. So those are the 5 outside the circle. Tossed up, ooh, almost looking to cut that away, not making any contact with it, is Rishi Ramesh. Run rate down to 8.18. And this is pulled away massively. What a shot. That is a great shot by Rishi Ramesh. A little too short by the captain and pulling it away beautifully. And that applause that you hear from outside the boundary ropes is the acknowledgement that Rishi Ramesh has gotten over the line and is now over 50. Rishi now 51 from 36 balls faced. A good innings by him. And I think it's somehow fitting that he, who is a youngster himself, is performing very creditably against the young TCA players. 141 for 5 with 2 balls remaining here in the 17th. And he's ready again as Abhimanyu Paswal delivers. And that's well played by Ramesh, just using his feet to get to the pitch and playing it away to that sweeper in the deep on the offside. 1 ball remaining in the 17th. 142 for 5. I think overall that might be a bit of an undercooked score. I think CapitalX Spartans would have been looking for something around 190 or 200 against the youngsters. Full toss, hammered down the ground. That's going to be 4. Oh, really a rank full toss bowled by the captain there. He can bowl better than that. And the last ball of his spell goes for a boundary down the ground. So 146 is now the score. And just another 3 overs, another 18 balls remaining in the innings. We'll be right back. Back here at the Sandy Lake Cricket Ground. Another edition of the Dallas Premier League, the 2022 version. Gold sponsors Innova Solutions. CapitalX Spartans have been asked to bat by the TCA team. Youngsters have performed very creditably in many ways. handful of things that they may wish to do a little bit differently, but overall I think they're in a good position. And now Sudhakar back into the attack, and look at that shot by Rishi Ramesh. Very inventful. Doesn't have a lot of legs, but it will get to the boundary at fine leg. Rishi Ramesh playing that scoop shot. That scoop shot starting to be more and more popular in modern cricket these days. And old guys like me never would have played shots like that. But it's a very, very effective stroke and a very good way of scoring, particularly if fine leg is inside the circle, as was the case on this occasion. So Rishi Ramesh moving up now to 56 from 38 faced, 38 balls faced. And he is, I think, somebody who can certainly do some damage. And in fact, in response to that shot, you now see fine leg dropping back on the boundary. And that potentially will dissuade Rishi Ramesh from playing a similar scoop shot again. But having done that, third man is now inside the boundary. Does he have the capability of scooping it over third man is something that he'll be thinking about. Akhilesh Sudhakar back into the attack. He's bowling his third. You suspect that he'll bowl overs 18 and 20. He's the opening bowler, so clearly one of the better bowlers in the side. A 4 from the first ball and now a leg by from the second. And then all of that hubbub, the 150 mark has been reached. So just another 16 balls to go here in the innings. And now with Jignesh Desai, the left-hander, back on strike. The field now changing around. Deep fine leg in position. Square leg in position. Long on and long off in position. And then deep cover. So those are the 5 outside the circle. Inside the circle, you have short third man, backward point, cover, and mid-on. Full toss, whipped away down the ground, but there's coverage down there. That's the man at deep, fine leg, good strong throw. Jignesh Desai now 19, make that 20 from 13 balls faced. 5 wickets in hand, so you would certainly anticipate that these two would be a lot more aggressive for the remaining 15 balls of this innings. And with the left-hand, right-hand combination, this is going to be testing the young TCA bowlers. Next delivery, inside out. Oh, well stroked, and the throw coming into the keeper's end. The keeper loses his footing, and that's going to result in an extra run. Unfortunate. The keeper would have had that covered, I think, but kind of losing his footing. That area right beside in the bowler's run-up is not very level, and probably not the biggest shock in the world that he's lost his footing. So those 2 runs, they'll take them at this stage however they get them. Rishi Ramesh now up to 58 from 40. It's a good innings by Rishi Ramesh. Slapped down the ground, and one bounced along off. It's good work. The bowler really kind of bowling to his field on that occasion, just making sure that he doesn't get anything too loose. And when you're bowling at this stage of the innings, it's better to be too full. Well, generally, it's better to be too full than too short. But it's also the case that you want to have your fielders down the ground be the ones in the action. You don't want to have the fielders on square of the wicket on either side be the ones fielding the balls. Oh, there goes Jignesh Desai well into the night. That is 6 over cow corner. Well and truly in the slot on that occasion. I think young Akhilesh Sudhakar not quite getting that one the way that he wanted it. And it closes out the over with a 6. So Jignesh Desai now moves up to 26 from 14. The score now moves to 161 for 5. And just 2 overs remaining. We'll be right back.
That one app that I played was fine for some reason.
161 for 5 after 18. Rishi Ramesh is 59 from 41. I said 60 earlier. My apologies. It's 59. Jignesh Desai playing a supporting role on this occasion to the youngster. 26 from 14. Rishi Ramesh with 3 4s and 2 6s. Jignesh Desai 3 4s and the 6 that closed out that last over. And this is now Sahil Lada to bowl the 19th. Big swipe by Rishi Ramesh. Not really timing it well. And it peels off the outside edge, but they do get a single. Jignesh Desai back on strike. And again, with the experience that he has, he would have been in situations like this dozens, if not hundreds of times before in his career. So I think this just for him might be just a teaching opportunity to help guide Rishi Ramesh as he masters the art of closing an innings. And of course, he's more than capable of doing damage himself. Around the wicket is Sahil Lada, short, looking to go big, not quite getting control of it. And that thick outside edge peels off toward backward point. So 2 balls bowled in this over so far and 2 runs conceded. So singles will be certainly accepted at this stage if you're TCA. You're just wanting to make sure that you don't give them the opportunity to get very far away from you. Lada, right arm over the wicket to the right-hander. Oh, inside out and slashes it straight to cover. That is a good catch at extra cover. Just backpedaling just a little bit, a few backward steps, and then takes it at the edge of the circle. So that is 6 down now. Sahil Lada takes his 3rd wicket, if you can believe it. 2.3 overs so far, 3 for 17. This is good bowling by the youngster. The score is 163 for 6. So Rishi Ramesh goes for a very well played 60. Caught by Ashish Das, bowled by Sahil Lada. The new batter is Rajendra Kumar, and he immediately gets off the mark with a single. Jignesh Desai now at the wicket, the one who is, I think, going to be the key between a score of around 175 and a score of anything threatening 190. Played cricket for a very long time. He can certainly threaten the boundaries. You can see his 6 hitting power that he showed earlier on. Around the wicket to him, and he plays this one very well, but there's protection out there, sweeping on the offside. And that's just a single. Good bowling by Sahil Lada. One more ball left in his spell, in his day with the ball. He would have only bowled 3 overs, obviously, this being the 19th over. This will be his last over. 20th over, I suspect, will be bowled by Akhilesh Sudhakar. And here is that last ball by Sahil. He bowled him, he knocked him over. A huge swipe across the line. Rajendran Kumar looking to go probably to mid-wicket when he should have been playing a lot straighter. But give credit to Sahil Lada, who has now taken 4 wickets. Excellent bowling by the youngster. 3 overs, no maidens, 4 for 19. The score is 165 for 7. We'll be right back. $165 for 7. The last 6 balls of the innings, Sahil Lada, easily the best of the bowlers for TCA. And the first ball of the last over is pulled down to mid-wicket for a single by Jignesh Desai. The bowler is now Rohan Dhawan. Interestingly, I thought it would have been the opening bowler, Akhilesh Sudhakar. In fact, they opt to bowl Rohan Dhawan. Dhawan, so far, his numbers are 3 overs, none for 33. And he'll now be bowling to the new batter, Ahan Bodida. Right arm, over the wicket, tossed up, looking to go big. Really playing that one to mid-wicket. Once again, playing to mid-wicket when the better option would have been down the ground. That's exactly how the last wicket fell. Luckily for Bodida, he only under-edged it, didn't hit the stumps. That's right in front and given. Absolutely dead straight. Swipe across the line again, looking to play to mid-wicket. And in my mind, that is probably threatening or probably hitting leg stump. From here, obviously, we're not directly in line with the stumps. But based on what we can see from here, I think that would have hit leg stump. So another wicket goes down, 166 for 8. Is it possible that the youngsters from TCA will bowl out the CapitalX Spartans? Never would have thought that that was possible. But as of right now, just 2 batters remaining, 2 wickets. And in the last 3 balls to come, it's certainly possible. I think the bigger issue and what TCA would be more concerned about is just not to give any opportunities for them to get very many more runs. So the new batter coming in now, we'll get the name of that person as soon as we have it. But just 3 balls remaining here in the innings, and it is Sankirth Batula. Knocked into the gap at mid-wicket. They should get 2 here if they run hard. Good running. And they easily get those 2 runs. So that remains just 2 balls remaining in the innings. Jignesh Desai is not on strike. He's 29 from 17. Sankirth Badula, who just came in, scored 2 runs so far. In the air, that's going to land safely, and it'll probably be 2 more. Good running, good strong throw. They can go for more. Do they go for more? Yes, they do. Another comedy of errors in the outfield. We've seen that happen a number of times today. And unfortunately for TCA, number 1, they concede an extra run. And number 2, the more dangerous of the 2 batters gets to face the last ball of the innings. So just 1 ball remaining. Right armor is going to be now coming around the wicket to Jignesh Desai. Huge swipe and a miss. He misses out on that. So full credit to TCA. They've done well. If at the beginning of the day you'd have asked them, would they take 171 for 8 I think that they would have said yes. So the overall rate, 8.55. TCA, after having asked the CapitalX Spartans to bat, they have now done well enough, even with everything that needs to be cleaned up that I've talked about. They've done well enough to keep a good batting side to only 171 runs. So the top scorer for the CapitalX Spartans is young Rishi Ramesh, 60 from 43, 3 fours and 2 sixes. A great innings on his part. Kiran Kumar Reddy, 32 from 18, 3 fours and a 6. Jignesh Desai at the end, 29 from 18, also with 3 fours and a 6. And the other batter joining them in double figures was Sagar Patel, 16 from 10. And for the bowlers, the pick of the bowlers easily was Sahil Lada, 3 overs, 4 for 19. 1 wicket each by Rohan Dhawan, Ashish Das, Abhimanyu Paswal, and Anshul Reddy. So good bowling effort. The ball is now in the court of the TCA team. It is up to them to now face up to a proper, good bowling side in the CapitalX Spartans. So until then, probably another 5 or 10 minutes or so, quick break. We'll be right back. Until then, we're signing off from Sandy Lake. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sandy Lake. The CapitalX Spartans batted first, put up 171 runs, and so now the target of 172 will be negotiated by the Texas Cricket Academy youngsters. Captain Usman Rafiq directing traffic. I think more than anything else, he'll be just looking to remind the youngsters that they're up against, in many cases, professional cricketers. And to that same end, the bowler who has the ball in his hand and will be bowling from the forest end is the experienced Nasir Jamali. Nasir Jamali, left arm over the wicket. Played for years for the U.S. national team. Good opening bowler. Excuse me, good swing bowler. Generally gets it to swing away from the left-handers or into the right-handers. And when he gets it right, he can be absolutely devastating with that in-swing to the right-handers. The opening batters, on the other hand, for TCA are Ane and Ajinkya. And they'll be looking to score at the rate of 8.6. Oh, right off the bat, there's that first delivery, an in-swinger. Has young Ane hopping around a little bit. Ane Kana, a right-arm batter, and I mentioned that you'd expect that Nasir Jamali is going to be swinging that ball into the right-handers. A little bit of a conversation between the bowler and the umpire. Not sure exactly what that was. The umpire maybe not exactly happy with the follow-through. And now I think Nasir Jamali is not happy with the crease. Now the crease ordinarily is marked with paint. On the pitch that is there now, it's actually marked with white tape. And my sense is that Nasir Jamali is not happy with the tape. And you can certainly understand if you're a fast bowler who is running in and planting on that tape, it could be very slippery, particularly at night if there's any dew. And there's just a bit of dew on the ground. So that could make that landing very slippery for Jamali himself. And really for any fast bowler. So if that's what his complaint is, and I suspect that that's what it is, I think he is within his right to be complaining about that. Oh, look at that ball curl. You can see the swing from here, starting almost toward the wide line outside off stump and then curling back towards the stumps. That is a brilliant piece of bowling, and I tell you what, if he gets that ball right, maybe if he starts it on maybe 5th or 6th stump, Yorker length, it will be really difficult to play like that. He is absolutely making that ball talk. These are really beautiful deliveries that we're seeing here by Nasir Jamali. And once again, when he gets it right, when that swing is operating the way that it is right now, he can be extremely difficult to play. Goes short this time. Pull to short square leg for no run. Nasir Jamali bowling short to the youngsters. Far be it from me to give advice to somebody who's played so many years and had such success at the highest level for the U.S. But I think if he bowls fuller, he stands a better chance of getting these youngsters out. There's an in-swinger again, but it's bouncing above the stumps. Half-hearted appeal. Boy, Ane Kana not able to catch up to any of these deliveries. The only one that he got bat on was that one that the shorter delivery that he pulled to mid-wicket. Still no run. This is good bowling by Jamali. There's the in-swinger again, but this time it gets through. Well played by the youngster. Going close to the boundary. In fact, it goes all the way to the boundary for 4. That is a really good stroke. That ball is swinging a lot, but to be able to negotiate the swing and play it away through the offside is an expert bit of batsmanship. So that is the last delivery of the over that results in a boundary. So at the end of 1, the score is 4 without loss. Four without loss, target of 162 or checked at 172 means that there's another 168 runs needed. The run rate that is required from this stage is 8.84. 1 over, 4 runs, so they're obviously scoring at a rate of 4 runs and over. And the bowling being taken up from the south end, the commentator's box end, let's call it. The bowler is now right arm over, angling it into the right-handed batter, Ajinkya Paikine. And the bowler from the com box end is Ujwal Vinakota. Vinakota, tall right armer, bowling over the wicket, slanting it in to the right-handed Ajinkya Paikine. In the air and landing just out of reach of the bowler. That easily could have been a caught and bowled, but not able to get to it. Obviously, with his follow-through taking him down the pitch, it became difficult for him to turn around the reverse direction and come back the other way to try to get a catch. It's just a dot ball. Again, right arm over the wicket, short and swivel pulled away. That's going to run away for 4. Didn't really hit the cover off of it, but enough of it to clear the out or the infield rather. And once it got away past the umpire at square leg, running easily down the hill for 4. So Ajinkya Paikine gets off of the mark with a boundary. Once again, the required rate, at least from where we are now, the required rate is 8.86. You're going to want to make sure, if you are TCA, that you just stay within the limits of your game. Don't necessarily try anything. Take any gifts if they're offered to you. If you get a short ball, punish it. If you get a full ball, punish it. But other than that, just look for areas where you can pick up those 1s and 2s. We're still inside the power play, obviously. This is just the second over. So there are areas where you can get runs, and especially if you're able to get the ball behind square on the offside, there's acres of room out there for you to get runs. That outswing from the right-handed bowler is going to be inducing you to play in that direction. And right now there is no slip fielder in position. So there very well could be opportunities to score runs behind square on the offside. Next delivery, pulled away. There's a fielder out there, 1 bounce. That's well fielded. Good strong throw that comes in to the keeper's end. Score moving along now to 9. Mentioned that we're still inside the power play. Of course, the first 6 overs of the innings are designated as the power play overs. Here's the next ball, and it's driven into the covers. Good sliding stop, and no run. That is the end of the over. Good close out to the over. Good over overall. Just 5 runs coming from it. And at the end of 2, the score is 9 without loss. Left arm, in swing bowler, bowling in swing to these two right-handed batters. And in that first over, he was really making that ball talk. Short. Oh, not expecting that. Looking for the fuller one, I would think. That is Anekana. Jamali going short, and the attempted pull shot was just a little too late. So if you have the ability to swing the ball, of course that's your advantage. But if you throw in that short ball as a surprise, I guess I can understand that. Now this one does not swing back. Starts very far outside off stump, and Jamali not able to get it to come back far enough. So that is the first wide of the innings. And that's also the first extra of the innings. Another 162 runs needed from 107 balls. So it's not going to be easy for the youngsters. And they're up against a cage veteran here. Oh, look at that shot. Absolutely bludgeoned. It made a really nice sound coming off the bat. That's a Jinkia Paikine, who jumped all over that short ball again by Nasir Jamali. And maybe overdoing the short stuff just a little too much is the left-hander, left armer rather. I think he's a lot better bowler in full. And this was absolutely punished. Long hop really, it ended up not being a short ball that was up around the face of the batter, which is where you want the short balls to be. It ended up just being bouncing up maybe waist height and easily put away with the greatest flourish by Jinkia Paikine. He's now 9 from 7. Each batter has faced 7 deliveries. Paikine on 9, Anekana 4. Score 14 without loss. There's the length that he needs to bowl. Has the batter fishing outside off stump. Paikine not able to catch up with that one. Fielders in the deep are down at third man and deep mid wicket. So obviously everyone else, since we're inside the power play, is inside the circle. Short ball again. You hear the grunt by Nasir Jamali. Another dot ball. Fielder at fine leg inside the circle. So he's bowling short. There's a fielder down at third man. So if there is an uppercut that flies in that direction, I would suspect that that's why that third man is there. But of course, you're not going to be bowling that length all the time if you're going to have third man in position. Very full. I think that's doing too much. In fact, just a half-hearted appeal going down the leg side. 1 ball remaining here in the third. 5 runs coming from the over so far. That one imperious 4 and then 4 dot balls, but included in those dot balls was that wide. So 1 ball to go. Here's Jamali again. Pulled away. There's a fielder down there in the deep this time. And it will just be a single. So overall, a good over, with the exception of that 1-4 that was bludgeoned by Paikine. So 6 runs coming from the over total. At the end of 3, the score is 15 without loss.
Start over, right? The bowler earlier was.
back here at Sandy Lake, and that is a beautiful essay drive through extra cover. Very effortless stroke, running away for 4. That is a lovely, lovely stroke by Anekana. Lovely stroke. Ujwal Vinakota into his second over, and he's greeted. My apologies, that's actually Ajinkya Paikine with that shot. Lovely drive through the covers for 4. Next delivery, a lot straighter. Opportunity for a run out. Nope, not taken. Attempted direct hit was missed, and so they sneak through for a single. This is a good experience for these youngsters. Neither of these two opening batters, Ajinkya Paikine and Anekana, look like they're threatened in any way. And it's good for them to sort of take some time and get settled. Next delivery, cut away, and that's a brilliant piece of fielding. I'll tell you what, that easily saved 4 runs. I think that would have had the legs to make it to backward point for 4, but a good stop by that fielder at backward point. Had that ball gotten through him, I don't think anything would have stopped it from getting to the boundary. Third man is back on the fence, very wide, but I don't think he would have gotten there. And this next ball, half-hearted pull, and missing out on that chance to score. So a couple of dot balls in a row here. Ujwal Vinakota was treated very rudely from the very first delivery, but he's done well to pull things back so far. A dot and then 2 singles. Check that, a single and then 2 dots. And so just 2 balls remaining here in the 4th over. Vinakota into his second. In the air, and a diving attempt by the fielder backward point, not able to get to it, and it goes away for 4. Oh, imperious attempt. In fact, I think that's Rishi Ramesh with a great day with the bat, diving away to his left, but not able to stop it, and it goes away for 4. So Anekana moving on now to 8 from 10 balls faced. And just 1 ball remaining here in the 4th. Here's Vinakota. Oh, great delivery right on that 4th stump line. Sort of a tentative poke by Anekana, not able to catch up to it. And that completes. Back here at Sandy Lake, starting the 5th. Change in bowling, and he chopped on immediately. 1 ball, 1 wicket. Did not take very long for this new bowler to get into the action. This is Sankirth Batula. His first ball, snaking back in. A little bit of inward movement off the seam. A tentative poke by Ajinkya Paikine, and immediately disturbs the furniture. So the first wicket goes down after 1 ball in the 5th. The score is 24 for 1. 24 for 1. Sankirth Batula immediately into the action. Right arm over the wickets. Takes a wicket with his first delivery. And he will now be facing the new batter, who is Anshul Reddy. Anshul Reddy, a left-armer, or left-hander rather. And immediately Batula switches to go around the wicket to angle the ball into the left-hander. The field is set for probably something short, because there's a fielder deep at mid-wicket and looking around the wicket short, and again going down the leg side. That's a good piece of keeping. It goes for wide, but luckily for him, he did not get any bat on that. Luckily for Batula, that is, because any amount of bat that goes on that, it will easily run away down the hill. Right here toward us, it would have been 4, I think, very easily. This is stroked into the covers. They run through for a quick single. That's good work. So now, I mentioned that TCA did not look bothered. It will be interesting to see how they respond from here after they've lost the wicket. So Anekana, been there for 11 deliveries, has scored 8 runs. Anshul Reddy already off of strike, having gotten off of the mark. But it's up to them to make sure that they continue along the path to getting these runs. That's a good piece of fielding, a backward point. He did some good work there to field that delivery. It actually bounced up toward his face. That's a good piece of work, good concentration, and good sacrificing of his body, that field at backward point. So 3 deliveries have been bowled so far. Thick edge and straight to slip. Right to slip. Waist height. Very straightforward catch. And the second wicket goes down. That fielder did not make any mistake whatsoever. Went straight to him, and that's exactly what... The young men from TCA are in a bit of a spot of bother here. 2 wickets after a decent start. Lost 2 wickets in the last several, in fact, in this over. They're 27 for 2. The new batter is Eshwar Gulapalli. This ball is helped behind square. Run out opportunity. Boy, had that been an accurate throw, that might well have been the 3rd wicket to fall in the over. As it is, they've gone through for that single. Nothing at all convincing about the running between the wickets that time. But Ishwar Gulapalli is actually off the mark And now just one ball remaining here in the fifth, I'm sorry. This is Anekana, 9 from 12. And he'll be facing the last ball of the fifth. Going through, as Jeff Boycott would say, the corridor of uncertainty. Leaves it alone and goes through to the keeper. And that is the end of the fifth. At the end of 5, the score is 28 for 2. $28 for 2. This is the last over of the power play. A target of 172 means that TCA needs another 144 runs in 90 balls. So they need to score at the rate of 9.6 runs and over. Good delivery, and it's driven straight. They run through for a quick single as mid-off fumbles. This is the third over being started by Ujwal Vinakota. His figures so far, none for 15 from 2.1. And defended into the covers, Captain Usman Rafiq jogging through to do the work to keep them scoreless, at least from that ball. So Anekana 9 now from 13. Eshwar Gulapali 2 from 2. But keep an eye on that required rate. That required rate now sneaking upward uncomfortably if you are for TCA. This is pulled massively. Nobody out there. That runs away for 4. That will definitely help the required rate. Before that stroke, it was 9.75. It is now 9.59 as a brilliant stroke by Anekana through the vacant mid-wicket area, running away for 4. That is a good-looking shot by the youngster. And just a bit of thinking to do here for Ujwal Vinakota. Said it a few times in the first part of this game. The bowlers really just need to understand where the right lines and lengths are to build pressure. And that will be just outside off stump. And this is Sky. This is a simple catch from it off. And he takes it easily. So another wicket goes down. And Anekana, after having played a really nice pull. Well, 33 for 3. The captain joins his number 2 batter, Eswar Gulapala, the captain being Abhimani Poswal. His work is certainly cut out for him here. Next delivery, just run down to third man for a single. But a lot of work needed to be done now because, again, with the fall of the wicket, it means that, number one, the scoring rate slows down. Number two, it means that the new batter has to take some time to get himself settled. And then number three, with the asking rate hovering around 9.7, every single will continue to hurt. So when you're needing to score more than a run a ball, when you score a single, it makes things more difficult. And this is played into the covers for no run. That is the last ball, I believe, of the over. Umpire did not signal. Now I think that they are conferring about that. I would think that this is according to my records, it is the last ball of the over. Not sure exactly what the conversation is about. Oh, looks like they have one more ball. That might have been, was that called a no ball? It may have been called a no ball. Don't have that information yet. But for some reason, they're bowling an extra ball. But either way, understanding what that last ball is, not sure. And this is getting through the keeper and running away down the hill. It's going to be a bye. So bye signaled by the umpire. And that is the end of the over. Not sure what that extra ball was about, but either way, that is the end of the over. The score is 36 for 3. We'll be right back. $35 for 3. Another 137 runs needed for victory. And those 137 runs need to be scored in 84 balls, which means that the asking rate is now up to 9.79. They're scoring at the rate of 5.83 TCA. Needless to say, they need to score another 4 runs and over almost to get up to that target. And so their work is certainly going to be more and more difficult. Taking up the attack to bowl his second over, very successful first over, is Sankirth Batula. His first over, 1 over, or it's 1 over ball and 2 for 4. First ball going down the leg side. Yes, no, almost a run out. The keeper not able to throw and hit the stumps. So a lot of activity that includes a wide because that ball went down the leg side. But at the end of it, no run scores off the bat. Now the two batters are going to have a chat because, once again, this is a very young side. It's effectively a youth side. And they're going to want to make sure they understand the game. Make sure that you don't get the only thing that is worse than getting out is getting out when you cause your own demise. And so they're going to want to work out those little miscommunication issues. So a bit of a hesitation here while the batter, I think there might have been an insect or something that was flying around his head that he wants to not have happen. 36 for 3. Good delivery. Good hard length being bowled by Sankirth Batula. Just an off stump and defended into the offside for no run. This is the first over out of the power play, so there certainly can be more protection in the deep if need be. Short defended into the offside and the single taken. Fielder running across and picking up, but not, or choosing to not take a shot at the stumps. So the field is a man down here at third man, sweeper on the offside at cover. Long on and long, actually mid on and mid off are inside the circle now. Mid off, walking back to long off, and there's a wide long on. Slashed through the offside, probably two. Yep, they'll get two easily. Good running by these youngsters. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be difficult to do it from here with ones and twos. You'll never turn down a run when it presents itself, but as I mentioned, when you are chasing a target with a rate excess of a run of ball, every single makes your job harder. Great delivery. What a line. Right on that off-stump line. Drawing the batter forward. That's Abhimanyu Paswal himself, who's not able to get any bat on that. Goes through to the keeper. So that required rate now 9.98. It is always going to be sneaking upward unless you can generate some runs here if you're TCA. What a good ball again. A similar type delivery, but this time it jumps through a little bit quicker. Taken by the keeper, almost chest height. And a fast bowler is going to love seeing deliveries like that. And with that delivery, the required rate now is above 10. So a lot of work to do. TCA is struggling. They're at 39 for 3. They've lost 3 wickets. And with each ball that is not scored off of, their job gets harder and harder. This is knocked down the ground for a single. That was the last ball of the 7th. At the end of 7, the score is 40 for 3. For 3 after 7. Sankirth Batula, 2 overs, 2 for 9. And the bowling is now going to be taken up from the combox end by Ahan Budida. Right arm over the wicket. And he will be bowling to Eshwar Gulapali. Gulapali 3 from 5. Captain at the non-strikers end, Abhimanyu Paswal 4 from 5. So both batters have their work cut out for them. Both of them relatively early in their innings, but they have to get started sometime soon if they're going to threaten this total. Slashed away, and it's a brilliant stroke, but right to the fielder sweeping on the offside. And what a great throw right next to the stumps on the full. So just a single conceded. A lot of work to do here by TCA. And it's now Captain Abimani Poswal, who is back on strike. And Bodida just getting into his work. And now this is really good experience, even though TCA is the younger side. And even though the CapitalX Spartans have a lot of experienced players on their side, they're still benefiting from the experience of the captain, Usman Rafiq, who's now directing traffic in the middle. What a great looking stroke right down the ground, but just a single. That is a proper looking cricket shot. That is a really nice looking shot, but it's only a single. So in the context of this game, it makes things more difficult. Once again, chasing a total where you're needing to score more than a run of ball. When you just score one run off of a ball, that required rate goes up. This is slapped into the outfield. They'll get one. I think that's all they'll get. Boy, that fielder in the deep on the offside absolutely has a gun for an arm, Rishi Ramesh. Brilliant, brilliant throw. And he's patrolling the boundary up there like a tiger. There's no getting anything past him. And he is really doing his best to support his bowler. So with each single, the noose is getting tighter and tighter. Stroked into the covers, in fact, down the ground. So 4 balls, 4 singles. And if you are a Han Bodida, you're perfectly happy conceding these singles. If you are Captain Usman Rafiq, you're absolutely happy with your bowler limiting the damage and not allowing any boundaries. So just 2 balls remaining here in the 8th. Big grunt as he plays it into the covers. That's Usman Rafiq himself, who picks up for no run. It's just one more ball, and this is going to be a situation where you would think TCA is going to have to start looking for ways to manufacture runs, because they had a good start. They've slowed down tremendously since then. Slapped in the air in a diving attempt at backward point, not able to get to it. And in fact, not even Rishi Ramesh sweeping on the boundary can get to that one. So a very well-needed boundary brings the score after 8 overs to 48 for 3. We'll be right back. $48 for 3 after 8. The run rate, you can work that math out, is 6 runs and over. The required run rate is now 10.3. And taking up the attack again, Sankirth Batula. Bowled well so far. What a short, quick delivery. And it knocks the batter on his helmet. He hopped off his feet. Any fast bowler likes to see that happen. But a batter is not going to like being hit in the head. And in fact, I want to make sure that the umpires check to make sure he's okay. He, just from the eye test, looks like he's fine. But that short ball definitely surprised him. There's no question it surprised him. Good thing that he was wearing a helmet. And look at that response. Lofted in the air. Well and truly over mid-wicket. In fact, it just landed short. But it goes for 4. So that is a great, great response to a bowler who just knocked you on the head. Just absolutely plowing that one over mid wicket for 4. Score now moves above 50 for the first time. And once it goes above 50, maybe that's a bit of a psychological advantage, but you're still a long way away from where you need to be. The scoring at the rate of 6.24. This is going down the leg side. No, in fact, it is given. From this angle, it looked almost like it was angling down leg, but umpire at the far end thinks about it for a split second and then raises the finger. And so the 4th wicket goes down. That really did look like it was angling down leg. I'd want to have a look at that again. But it was given as a wicket. So that is another wicket that goes down. Score is 52 for 4. 52 for 4. TCA slipping further and further into trouble. And the new batter is Roshan Vanam. Sankirth Batula is the one bowler who they cannot play today. 3 wickets already. He's just 3 deliveries into his 3rd over. What a great ball. Awkwardly defended back by Roshan Vanam. And the ball stays in the air much longer than he'd be comfortable with. But it ends up just being a dot ball. This is going to be a challenge for these youngsters, but it's also a good learning experience for them. At least attempt to chase these runs. If you're resigned to not winning this match, and this is an edge and put down, went very quickly. First slip right in the right position. It was low and to his left, but certainly catchable. Came off of the outside edge, and he was in the right position. Seemed to have reacted well to it, but just did not hold on to it. Just looking here at the replay again, maybe getting to him a foot above the ground. But certainly you would think that he would win. He would have wanted to have caught that. Last ball, wrapped on the pad, no appeal, interestingly. And umpire signals leg by. That is a single to end things here in the 9th. At the end of 9, the score is 53 for 4. $53 for 4, 9 overs in the books, another 66 balls, and another 119 runs needed. This is stroked down to extra cover. Just a long single. For what it's worth, the required rate now up to 10.89. The actual rate is 5.89. And this is Sankir Batula continuing. I'm sorry, that is not Sankir Batula. This is actually Ahan Bodida bowling his second over. 1.2 overs so far, none for 9. Good bowling on his part. In fact, they ran a single from that last one, so none for 10. Score is now actually 55 for 4. Full toss. And missing out that time, Rochan. Rochan Vanam is going to want to make sure that he's able to take advantage of the scoring opportunities. It certainly can be difficult because you don't know when those scoring opportunities present themselves, but a part of his development is going to be to recognize when those opportunities present themselves and to take advantage of them. This is well played down the ground, well struck right here in front of us. This is Long On coming around to clean up, just a single. Captain Abhimanyu Paswal has been there for now 10 deliveries, scored 11 runs. He's back on strike. No ball is the call. So they'll get a single, but more to the point, this next delivery is going to be a free hit. This is going to be a free hit, and the batter who will be on strike is Rochan Banam. So you'll definitely take any bonus runs that you can get. Next delivery, big swipe and a miss. He misses out. So the extra ball doesn't, and the free hit doesn't cost him anything. Just ends up being a dot ball. Now just one ball remaining here in the 10th. So we're just one ball short of being halfway through the innings. And a lot of heavy lifting for TCA the rest of the way. In the air down here toward us. Big attempt. Oh, what a spectacular catch. Oh, he dropped it. Did he drop it? Oh, it came very close. We were shielded there for a second. I thought he may have just caught that. He did the hard work, but apparently not able to hold on to it. He really did a tremendous job getting to it, and he's now rubbing his chest rather, which tells me that ball probably bounced up and hit his chest. A great effort, but in the end, just 2 more runs to the total. So that is the end of 10. After 10, the score is 60 for 4. $60 for 4, and if things were difficult before, they become infinitely more difficult now for the TCA squad. Now up against the wiles of Captain Usman Rafiq. Usman Rafiq, right armor, bowling around the wicket to these 2 right-handed batters. He can generate a turn on any surface, and he can turn it both directions. Outside off, And just letting that one go through. Chan Vanam.
Oh, really? Oh, you're
Usman Rafiq with a really successful season for the Houston Hurricanes. And this is lofted in the air, catchable. Did he take that? Yes, he caught it. Of course he caught it. That is Rishi Ramesh. He's not going to drop anything. Stayed in the air for a really long time and gave Ramesh enough time to come around and take that catch. Took it low to the ground, but never any chance of him dropping that, you wouldn't think. The fifth wicket goes down. The score is 61 for 5. So things getting more and more difficult for TCA as the new batter is Rohan Dhawan. Immediately punched down the ground by Abhimanyu Paswal for a single, but you're not going to do much damage against Usman Rafiq, I don't think. And as of right now, the required rate sneaking upwards, it's now 11.79. So you're almost at the stage where you need 2 runs off of every ball the rest of the way, which is a really difficult run rate to manufacture. This is driven down the ground. Could be a single. Do they want 2? No, they're not going to get 2 on that. Throw coming back into the non-striker's end. Usman Rafiq, I started saying, a tremendous season for the Houston Hurricanes. Hurricanes themselves, after being one of the best teams in the league last minor league season, maybe came back to earth a little bit. But even though they didn't have the type of season that they would have preferred to have, I think their individual players who stood out, obviously one of the ones who stood out is the captain himself, Usman Rafiq. Here's a single, close things out here in the 11th. So the captain himself had a good season. Obviously, there's some players in the Houston area who will always excel. But the one person who stood out in my mind as we're looking at all these youngsters is a youngster who played for the Houston Hurricanes, playing the role of bowling all-rounder, young Matthew Trump. So I think he's somebody who you can look out for. And in fact, his twin brother, Joshua Trump, played for the Dallas Mustangs right here in the Dallas area. So the whole point is that there are young players all around in this country who are worthy of the big stage. And this TCA squad is another one, just highlighting the excellence of these young players. Always good to see. In the meantime, we're back in. Oh, look at this. A quick single taken and then an overthrow results in 2 runs. So you'll take the runs any way you can get them if you are TCA. But maybe just a bit of sloppiness in the field by the Spartans. In the meantime, this ball is stroked through the covers. That's a lovely looking shot. That's 4 runs. That was a very confident stroke. That's the captain himself. Abhimanyu Paswal now moves on to 21 from 16. This is Ahan Budita, who is bowling his 3rd over. 2 full in the slot, really. In fact, it was almost like a low full toss. And it was expertly put away by Abhimanyu Paswal. So this is what I was referring to earlier. Captain Usman Rafiq with a few words of wisdom to his bowler, Ahan Bodida. Always, of course, learning from one of the best minds in the game. This is a good short delivery. Just well played in the end, though, by Captain Abhimanyu Poswal. Just dropping the wrists and letting that one sail through to the keeper. But with that dot ball, the required rate is now exactly 12. So they need 2 runs off of every ball from this point on to win this game. Next delivery, a big grunt outside off. And another dot ball. So Ahan Bodida, 21 runs conceded so far from his 2 overs and 4 balls. So he has a maximum of another 8 deliveries to bowl for the day. Has looked threatening. Hasn't taken any wickets yet, but he does look threatening. This is well played. Just a single down to long off. How much work does the captain get to do from here? 71 for 5. He himself is 21 from 19. Is he able to grab the bull by the horns and at least make this chase interesting? All things to think about as we come towards the back end of this game. This is stroked beautifully in the gap between extra cover and long off. Rolls away for 4. That is a good-looking stroke. And that is the end of 12. After 12, the score is 75 for 5. $75 for 5. This first ball of the 13th over is driven down the ground for a single. Captain Usman Rafiq, 1.1 overs, 1 for 5. One of the best bowlers in the country. And this is just defended back to the captain himself. Does well to keep that one from going through for a single. So even though his side is well and truly on top of the game, Usman Rafiq still putting in the effort to make sure that there are no freebies given. He's operating 2. Oh, look at this. This is a great strike. This is in the air and goes all the way for 6. This is Rohan Dhawan. Didn't realize he had that in him, but he'll absolutely take it. Lofts the captain well and truly over mid-wicket for a huge 6. So there is some life in this innings after all for TCA. And they're taking on the captain, Usman Rafiq. That is a great strike, going all the way for 6. And now this next delivery is stroked into the covers just for a single. That was a great looking strike. All of a sudden, I think I have somebody who wants to contribute with his voice. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Brian. Glad to have me here on board on air. Now, absolutely enjoying this wonderful match so far. I think in that first inning took everyone by surprise, but the second inning has been a little bit tougher for that TCA team. The Spartans are really clamping down with excellent bowling and fielding. I mean, they're everywhere in a flash. It's been quite exciting so far. What's your best highlight so far?
My best highlight, as that's a dot ball to end things here in the 13th. My best highlight, this may sound like a political answer, so forgive me. My best highlight is seeing a bunch of kids out here actually standing in with the big boys. These kids are all 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. The CapitalX Spartans are established cricketers, all of them. It's including people who've played for the U.S., including, I mentioned Usman Rafiq, who's one of the best all-rounders in the country and the captain of the Houston Hurricanes in the minor league system. They're hanging in and trading blows with a team that I thought would have blown them away probably 5 or 6 overs ago. So it's good credit to them. They do not look in any way intimidated. They do not look in any way overcome by the situation. They may end up, in all likelihood, will end up losing this game. But I like the fact that they're hanging in there and trading blows with a really good team.
Well said there, Brian. I did speak to Ravi from the CapitalX Spartans team earlier, pre-game interview, and he did not take this team lightly. He has spent several seasons in the past looking at youth talent, watching them grow, and he has been extremely impressed. And they did come out and impressed as well. So it's good to see the main goal of what we're trying to do is encourage the youth of America to play cricket, to continue this amazing sport that has been around for decades and centuries at that. It doesn't have a huge market share here at the moment, but we're looking to get there, and with young talent like this, anything is possible.
That is very well said. You mentioned that cricket has been around for centuries. Not many people know that not only the oldest cricketing rivalry, but the oldest international rivalry as another wicket goes down. Big swipe across the line, and that disturbs the stumps. In fact, I'll get back to my story in just a second. Score is now 85 for 6, just another 4 wickets rather, for the CapitalX Spartans, 85 for 6. Back to Sandy Lake, and you get the sense that the last rites are being administered here by the CapitalX Spartans. The score is now 86 for 6. Abhimanyu Poswal, the captain, is 25 from 22. And the new batter is Ashish Das. So I started saying, not many people know that not only the oldest cricketing rivalry, but the oldest international sporting rivalry is between the U.S. and Canada in cricket. The very first international cricket match was played between U.S. and Canada. There were no two international teams in any sport who had played each other before that date. 1844. Wow. So now you know something that you didn't know before. Absolutely. So you can bring that up at the parties and impress all the women. Let me stop. You youngsters who still chase women. Yeah. Anyway, so back to this game. 87 for 6. In fact, one more single has just been scored. So 88 for 6. We are into the 14th over. Obviously, a long way to go. TCA and only 4 wickets left in hand. So the question is not who is going to win this game. The question is what is the final margin of victory going to be for the CapitalX Spartans. But again, give it to the youngsters. They have fought very hard and they've, I think, made a good account of themselves, gave a good account of themselves. And just another 6 overs remaining here in the game. The score is 89 for 6. We'll be right back. Back here at Sandy Lake. Apologies for that slight interruption, but Usman Rafiq is back into his work. Quick single taken. No, very ambitious, really very ugly throw, it has to be said. Sailing over the top of Usman Rafiq himself. Quick single taken. The score is now 92 for 6. We're into the 15th over. Usman Rafiq so far 2.1 overs, 2.2 overs make that 1 for 16. And he is now facing up to captain, actually facing to Ashish Das. These singles, unfortunately, are making things worse because if you need 2 runs every ball, or more than 2 runs every ball, every single makes things more difficult. Every single increases the required rate. So you're not going to do it in singles. You need a mess of 4s and 6s right now is what you need. And in fact, if you look around at the field, you see the fielders now coming in close. That fielder who is at extra cover is now sneaking in from the 30-yard circle. He's maybe 20 yards away from the bat. You get the sense that Usman Rafiq and the rest of the CapitalX Spartans are going in for the kill. This is clipped around the corner to short fine leg. Just a single. I said earlier that TCA really, all things considered, have given a good account of themselves. TCA, the owner is Tirukumaran, former Indian international. This is slapped in the deep. They could get 2. No, they won't. That's Rishi Ramesh sprinting. In fact, they do come back for 2. That was risky. They got there in the end. That is actually a good piece of running. It's not always good to take on Rishi Ramesh. He has a brilliant arm in the outfield, but they went for it. I like the urgency, and that urgency actually got them a bonus run. So that's good work on their part. 1 ball remaining here in the 15th. Usman Rafiq, check that. 2 balls remaining in the 15th. My apologies. Usman Rafiq with 2 balls remaining here in his 3rd. Very difficult generally to get away. That 6 that was hit off of Usman in the last over, I don't know that I've ever seen that happen. In fact, my apologies, it appears it's the end of the over. So now it's a new over. The bowling now taking place coming from the combox end. This is going to be Rajendran Kumar. 1 over, 1 for 5. Tossed up, and this is slapped down to deep mid wicket for a single. Just another 28 balls remaining. 80 or 99 rather for 6 is the score. Defended into the offside. They run through for a quick single. That brings up the 100. So the small matter of 71 more runs needed in 27 balls. Rajendran Kumar, right-handed spinner, finger spinner. Big swipe across the line, but gets a thick outside edge. That ball runs down to third man, and they'll get 2. Good running and a good strong throw, too. Should be just the last. Check the number of balls here shortly. We'll get that as soon as we can. Rajendran Kumar. This is lofted in the air, catchable, I think. And it is taken. Oh, look at this. Did he finish that catch? Oh, did not. Not able to do the spectacular piece of work needed to catch it and then throw it back in. He did the hard part, caught it, prevented himself from going over the line, but then had to throw it up to keep himself from carrying the ball over the line, and then was not able to complete the catch inside the boundary. So good piece of athletic work, but that spectacular catch did not come off. And this is smashed in the same direction, and this time it does go for 6. That is good work, a good solid stroke. That is Ashish Das, I believe, who just played that shot. That is a brilliant piece of work, and that should be, I believe, the end of the over. No, in fact, that is 1 ball remaining. The score is now 110 for 6. So 1 ball remaining here in the 16th. And all of a sudden, it looks like the scorecard is playing tricks on us because the bowler is lining up to bowl 1 more ball, but the scorecard says the 16th over has been finished. And this is just punched down to mid-wicket. I think they'll try to take on the arm of that fielder. They do. And the throw comes back into the keeper's end, not in time. So 2 more runs. After all of that, I believe that the score is now 112 for 6. Let's just go with 1-6 for now. Another 4 overs to go. We'll be right back. So welcome back to the Sandy Lake Cricket Ground. A pretty straightforward equation the rest of the way. 60 more runs are needed in 4 overs. So the small matter of 15 runs and over. Wait a minute, I was supposed to be having a co-commentator here. I'm not sure why I'm sitting here filibustering by myself. Jump in, sir.
Well, 15 runs and over for the last 4 overs may not seem doable, but anything is possible. I truly believe anything is possible. If these young gentlemen just hit 3 6s and over, I think we'll be up there. But it looks like some gas is running out of their tanks, and they're struggling, but they're trying to claw out every single they can, and even catching some doubles now and again. So kudos to the hard work and effort. There's a 4 coming right up to the boundary. Look at that. That's a good start. That's 5. this over. 10 more to go.
Oh, you said earlier that you're a football guy. On your to go 8 yards, 2 minutes. Can it happen? Yes. Is it likely to happen? No. That's oh, look at this in the air. Did that go for 6? Let's see. It's 4. So consecutive 4s. Look at this. 9 runs already. So to continue my football analogy, that's a 6-yard run up the middle. So you still have 92 more yards to go.
You got to chip away slowly.
Well, we are in Dallas Cowboys country.
Go Eagles.
Good looking delivery by Jamali. Do they try to take on the long off fielder? Oh, no is the call, and it's going to end up with a run out. No, I'll tell you what. A good enough throw would have had him by a mile, but that throw bounced short and then bounced well and truly in the air. The keeper had to jump and try to retrieve that. And in doing all of that, they did get home for that second run. So in 4 balls, they've scored 11 runs. So your dream may still be alive.
I'm not too good at predicting, but maybe he might hit a 6 on this one coming up. Teeing up. Here comes the bowl. That was wide. All right, so they have another 2 more balls left to go in this over. There's still a chance. For all of you watching at home, we're so glad to have you and staying stuck to this particular screen. We're excited and we just want to keep the faith alive. And that's a 4. Lovely work by these young TCA gentlemen. They're really digging deep.
15 runs from the over so far. In fact, that is the end of the over. 15 runs have been scored from it. And I'll tell you what. The information I had was that there was 1 ball left, but they've already called over. So we'll skip those differences. I think it's the end of the over. Another 4 to 5 runs are needed in 18 balls. We're 15 runs and over. So you're now, to continue my analysis, you still, and you're down to 1 minute. You're at the 30.
We at least have some timeouts.
You do have timeouts. Your safeties are now 30 yards back. So
We're looking forward to another exciting over. Looking forward to another exciting over here and hoping for the same results at 15 runs.
let's see who the bowler is. Usman Rafiq. So getting 15 runs from Nasir Jamali, not likely, but it just happened. And in fact, it is not Usman Rafiq. He has given the ball to Rajendran Kumar. Very interesting. So Usman Rafiq himself, I believe, has at least maybe 1 over left. Usman Rafiq does have 1 over left. So maybe he's saving himself for either the 19th or the 20th over if need be. But 129 for 6 is the score. And I was wrong on the score. They finally updated it, and it now says 129. But big over here. Sliced away, that might run close. In fact, there's a fielder down there. So just a single. They look for a split second, like they wanted to go for a second, but they did not get there. So a single to start the 18th. All of a sudden, look at this. Captain Abhimanyu Paswal is at 50. He's at 50 from 35. Good batting by the captain. I mentioned earlier, all I wanted to see was just see them fight to try to get to this total. Next delivery, that's well bowled. And into the covers. Started to think about shying at the stumps, but chose not to. So, 2 balls and 2 singles. Not the You're needing 15 and over. Short delivery, good short delivery, and a wave and a miss. So a dot ball, which really doesn't help. 3 balls remaining. The score is 131 for 6. They need 40 in 15 balls. This is slapped down to square leg. They should just, in fact, they may get 2. That's Jamali down there doing the cleanup work, and they do get 2. So, 133, meaning that they need another 39 runs in 14 balls. Is it doable?
As long as it doesn't say game over, there's still a chance. And there's still some balls to hit. And there's still a possibility. A slim margin, but nonetheless. I think these boys are getting down to the gas tank really again. They had a short water break earlier. But looks like they just waved them off. They said, hey, no, we've got this. We've got this. We're going to pull it out of the tank. So I'm excited to see these young guys. And this is just the first game. They have plenty more to go. 3 more games to go. I'm very curious to see how they do and perform after an amazing outing like this. Looking forward to a lot more from them. And of course, with DPL 2022, we're looking also gearing up for 2023. So hopefully they have a squad ready to go then too as well.
Oh, he tries a scoop shot, doesn't work, and all of a sudden there's a mix-up in the middle. And after all of that, it just ends up being a dot ball. Now, the batter is wanting a wide to be called. It absolutely cannot be a wide because he moved across 2 feet to try to scoop that ball. That's one thing that the youngster will have to learn. If he moves across 2 feet to the offside, then the wide line is deemed to have moved with him. So I prefer to see him not argue that. That's not a good thing to see. And this next delivery, outside edge, flying down a couple bounces to deep backward point. Do they come back for 2? They do, but he's out, I think. No, he's not. Well, let's see. Did the umpire give him out or not? The umpire has not signaled, so I think he made it okay. And now there's a lot of discussion. I'm not exactly sure what the decision is. And now everybody's talking. In fact, it's a 4. It went for 4. That's what the discussion was about. Interesting. So did not see that one coming. But that is a boundary to close things out in the 18th. So after 18, 137 for 6. We'll be right back. Seemed to be completely out of it 6 or 7 overs ago. They and fought their way back, mostly due to the efforts of their captain Abhimanyu Paswal, who is on 51 from 36 with 5 fours, and a great cameo down towards the end of the innings that is still underway. Ashish Das 23 from 14 with 1 4 and 1 6. And they are 6 sixes, as you mentioned, away from winning this game.
Yeah, it may seem impossible, but still, they're still in it. And if they do pull this off, it will be an incredible boost of confidence. And obviously nothing to take away from the Spartans. They've played their heart out. It's good to see them continuously keep this defense up. I mean, the way they're rotating their fielders, bringing them in, pulling them out, excellent work. And their bowling is, star-studded, if you will. So if these guys can pull it off, if the young guys can pull it off, it would be absolutely phenomenal.
Well, Nasir Jamali is now starting his 4th over, and he starts it with a wide. So every run at this stage all of a sudden becomes very important. A wide ball is bowling around the wicket as the left-hander bowling to the right-handed Abhimanyu Paswal. Struck in the air. That goes away for 4. Wow! All of a sudden, this game is tightening up in a way that I don't think we would have expected even 3 or 4 overs ago. They now need 30 from 11 balls. It is still a really steep climb, but it is not out of the picture. Nasir Jamali, again, played for the United States of America for a number of years, is a really good swing bowler, generally very accurate, but he has just given up a wide and a 4 to start his last over, so 5 big deliveries to come for him. Big swipe and a miss. That length again. He's mixed up his length very well today. Going short and going full. The first delivery of this over, well, the first legal delivery, was very full and in the slot outside off stump, and it was lofted away over extra cover for 4. But that last delivery, I think, is more the length that he'd want to bowl in this circumstance. In the air again, but coverage out there, just a single. Good throw into the keeper. So a 1 run when you're chasing 3 runs, a single things that much. So now the required rate moves up to 19.33. From this stage, you're going to need a 6 off of every ball to win.
All right, the next ball is up. Let's see if he can do it. A swing and a miss, and that might just wrap things up here tonight. Brian, what are your thoughts on this game so far here with this last over, or last 2 overs?
Not quite wrapping things up, but now the required rate is shooting upward. And that is hammered, but there's a man down there. That is Rishi Ramesh. Just a single. Well, they come back for a second and not out. I tell you what, that is great running. By the way, I misspoke a second ago. I said they needed a 6 off every ball. That's not exactly accurate. But they did run through for 2 with that double. The required rate is now 23, which means that they almost need a 4 off of every ball from here. So 27 from 7. Is it doable? Yes. To continue my football analogy, there's now 14 seconds to go, and you're at the you're over the 50. You're about at the 47, but 14 seconds to go. Outside off, a dot ball to end things here in the 19th. Nasir Jamali started off expensively in this over, but he closes out strong. 8 runs come from the over which means that in order to win this game, TCA is going to have to score 27 from the last over. I wonder if Captain is going to take it himself to bowl the last over. No, he's not. He's given it to another bowler. This appears to be Sankirth Batula. Nope, Batula is done. So there's one more. It's not, I don't think it's going to be the captain. Not sure who number 74 is. We'll find that out as soon as we get that information. But whoever he is, he needs to bowl in such a way to restrict TCA to 25 runs or less. So basically a 4 off of every ball from here. Back live here, and the first ball of the 20th goes down the leg side for a wide, and then they run 2, so that's 3 runs. So no legal balls have been bowled yet, and you still need 24 to win. From 6, because the first ball was a wide, so no legal deliveries yet. Looks for the scoop shot, doesn't get it. So that dot ball makes a big difference. So that is 5 balls, they need 24 runs. They do need some 6s. And by the way, this is Ujwal Vinakota, who is bowling his last over, which is also the last over of the innings. 24 from 5 is what they need. Here's Vinakota. Big drive and a miss. Not there. So 4 balls, 24. The equation is pretty straightforward. You need 4 6s to win this game. Anything less than a 6 for any delivery the rest of the way, and you fall short at the end, TCA. Now, of course, there can still be extras. There can be no balls. There can be wides in the air, but it's not going to be 6. And in fact, Captain Usman Rafiq is not able to catch it. They'll get 2. they're not going to run 6. There is a story about a game that was being played in Australia. There was a tree in the field of play. The ball went into the tree, stayed up there. By the time the fielders were able to retrieve the ball from the tree, the batters ran 286 runs. This next ball is played into the outfield, and they just jogged through for a single. So it's all academic at this point. Just 2 more runs remaining. So TCA will definitely fall short. There's a tremendous amount of respect that they deserve, though, for the effort that they've put in. They've fought the entire way. They have not given anything to the more experienced side, and they've done everything to keep this game close. But again, they will fall short at the end. Here's this next ball, sliced away in the air, landing. That may go for 4, actually. Nope, not quite. Rishi Ramesh coming around, bobbles it a couple times. They run for 2. And so just 1 ball remaining, unless they can figure out how to score 19 runs from this ball. It may not happen for them. Was a good over in the end by Ujwal Vinakota. Started out with those 3 wides down the leg side, but just will close things out here with the dot ball. That is the end of the game. A tremendous fight by TCA, but unfortunately for them, they fall short. Final margin of victory, CapitalX Spartans take it by 18 runs. Tremendous effort all around. The youngsters, I think, have learned a whole lot about themselves in defeat. And the CapitalX Spartans themselves will know that they beat a team that they, in all likelihood, should have wanted to beat or should have needed to beat. And that is the end of the match. Any final thoughts from you, sir?
There's a fantastic game from both sides, and kudos to CapitalX Spartans, really showing what they're made of as far as changing strategies throughout the game, just making sure that they're able to close out the victory. Also, TCA, very well, hard-fought both innings, first and second. So other than that, we're signing off here from Sandy Lake. Thank you so much for joining and tuning in, and we'll catch you again next time. Thank you.